Let's go ahead and find the average rate of change for a particular function, in this case x cubed plus 1, on the interval from 2 to 3. So to figure out the average rate of change for a function, I basically want to evaluate the difference quotient. So that looks something like this: f of x1 plus h minus f of x of 1 all over h. And we basically need to figure out what all of those parts are before we can plug them in and evaluate this. So since we're looking at this on an interval between 2 and 3, those are essentially my x-coordinates of the 2 points, and I'm curious as what it's doing as it changes between those 2 points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set x1 equal to 2. Now h is the distance between the x values. So if my first one is at 2 and the next x value is at 3, the distance between them is 1. Now that I have my first point and I have my distance, I essentially know x1 plus h. I just simply add these two together and get 3. Now that should equal this second point in my interval. If we put all those things into our difference quotient, here's what we get. So I'm going to evaluate f at 3, subtract it at f of 2, put this all over 1. So I'm figuring out the difference in the y values over the distance h. Alright, since we know the function, we can actually just plug in the 3 and also subtract what happens when we plug in the 2. Let's see, in doing so I get 28 when I plugged in the 3. Plug in the 2, looks like we get 9. And of course, all over 1 still. 28 minus 9, looks like I get a 19, 19 over 1, 19. So the average rate of change for this particular function on the interval from 2 to 3 is 19.